Welcome to Takeover Talks. I'm your host, and this is episode 1. I'm very excited to start making this podcast, and I have a lot of free time, so I figured what better way to combine the two of them to make a podcast. The first episode is, I figured just be some general questions about myself and what some of my goals are with this podcast. And I have a lot on my mind, so let's get right into it. I think it's gonna be fun. Um, to start, I'll just kind of go through my background a little bit. Tell you how I got to where I am today. I came into this world, 2005, middle of July 19th. I have two wonderful parents and an older brother. I grew up and live in Salt Lake, Utah. I went to high school at Brighton High, graduated in class of 2023. While there, I started an early enrollment program after my junior year in high school, and attended Salt Lake Community College, and I just finished and got that degree. It's in applied science, and I'm a certified surgical technologist. That's pretty much my education. One of my biggest interests is basketball. I love to talk about basketball. I have basketball shoes on my wall here. It's probably why I decided to make this podcast, because I just love talking about it with people, and I've got a couple people planned out already that I could just rant about basketball with. So I figured I'd just talk about, what's going on, NBA playoffs, March Madness, like rumor trades, a lot of what if questions, such as like what's going to happen with Bronny? Is he going to get drafted first overall and go to whatever team LeBron's on, or, you know, things like that. Basketball's been a way for me to vent or connect with people through. It's actually how I met most of my friends today, was through high school basketball tryouts. So, some of the goals I have for this podcast are inspiring people, that nothing's possible, and to just give something a shot. If it works, great. If it doesn't work, make it work. I also just want to get people's opinions about things in the world and what's going on in other people's lives and try and connect with them that way. I also incorporate a basketball segment on this podcast where we can talk about playoff games or massive trades that happen and things like that. Basketball is a huge part of my life, as I mentioned before. I also like to ask like what if questions, like I just said. Um, this is like the first time in like 20 years that LeBron James, Steph Curry, and Kevin Durant all have missed the second round of playoffs, which is quite fascinating to me. There's just a lot of things like that that just are crazy. Anyways, I sent out a Google form just asking people for some general questions, and I got some really good questions. Some of them are pretty basic, but some of them I could go in depth quite a bit, and probably make an entire episode just about that question. So the first question is, who is the greatest athlete of all time? To me, that's like quite a loaded question, and everyone has a different opinion about this, and it's very controversial. To me, I'd honestly have to say Michael Jordan, because, I mean, one, basketball is my favorite sport, and the impact he had on that game is just, like, unbelievable. He changed it, and, I mean, I could seriously go on an episode about this question alone. But, first of all, he had a first three-peat in NBA history. A couple years later, he did another three-peat, and in those three-peats, he made it 6-0 in the finals. What else? His leadership has played a huge role in those seasons, and I know people like don't talk about the what about the season where he was a first round exit or second round exit, or like what about the seasons where he didn't even make the playoffs? That's beside the point. He's 6-0 in the finals is just unbeatable in my opinion, and he also inspired like people. Like Kobe Bryant. Like, I feel like Kobe Bryant is literally like Michael Jordan's little brother. And I feel like the effect that Michael Jordan had on players such as Kobe Bryant, like, I mean, he also had an impact on a bunch of other players too, but Kobe Bryant is just like, I feel like Kobe Bryant has based his game off of um, Michael Jordan. And I mean, besides like his mentality and work ethic, of course, like I think without Michael Jordan, I don't think Kobe Bryant would have the bag per se that he did when he played. Um, Another GOAT that I'd put up there is Tiger Woods, or like really anybody that plays golf, because I think golf is the hardest sport. I've never gotten into it because it's too difficult. I don't have time for that. It's just but I also think that's another conversation for another day. Um, but he really excelled at his sport, and the fact that he just had so many. I feel like he had multiple midlife crises, and still, like, he still managed to get back in the game, and like, I mean, he's still an amazing golf player today. Um, I also just started watching. Uh, Recently Netflix just released a the roast of Tom Brady, and I guess, like, honestly, I've just hated Tom Brady so much because of I'm a Seahawks fan, so when Russell Wilson threw an interception at the goal line in that Super Bowl, I have hated the Patriots and everything about Tom Brady since that game. But I started watching that roast, and I just forgot how incredible Tom Brady actually is, and I feel like, I mean, I didn't pay attention to him much. I mean, seven rings is seven rings. It's unreal. Um, and then I don't know. I also think, like, sports like soccer, like international soccer. There's so many people that play soccer, so the fact that, like, you make it to the professional level of soccer is insanely hard to me. So, like, people like Messi, like during the FIFA World Cup hosted in Brazil when I was, like, I don't know, 12 or 13. I was a huge Messi fan, and Neymar Jr. fan, and like, I think without having them in, like, I mean, I don't know, they just inspired me a lot to get into sports, really. I feel like soccer was like my first main sport. I feel like everyone plays soccer as a kid. So to me, like, soccer has kind of a special place in my heart, but you know, just things like that. And then, like, um I have, like, one more person, like, on my list that is, like, really, like, I actually think he is the GOAT. Um like, this is, like, people think I'm stupid because I'm saying this, but Marshawn Lynch, that guy is that guy was literally unbelievable. Like, he just ran through everyone, and his warm up was 2 shots of Hennessy, and lived off a diet of Skittles. And I think I think there's one video that, like, really like um what am I trying to say? I think there's one word that or like, I think there's one video. It's of him. It was him against the Saints, and he ran through the entire Saints defense. Um, let's see if I can pull it up real quick. It's this video right here. This is by Mike Edits on YouTube. Um, Look at this, bro. There's like 3 tackles there, 2 more, 4, 5. Push him off, 6, and then he, does his classic celebration in the end zone. That is literally my favorite, like, play of his career of all time. It's literally the best video of all time. I didn't even know that was the NFC wildcard game either. But um uh what else? Yeah, to be honest, I think he is the best running back to ever play the game of football. Period. If you have a problem with that, I got nothing. I don't. Whatever. So the next question is, if you were to travel anywhere, where would it be and why? And for me, I would honestly say Europe, anywhere in Europe, because it's really like the only continent that I haven't been to, aside from like Antarctica. No one goes there. But I have been to South America. I live in North America. I've been to Asia. I've been to Nepal, and I flew through China, I guess. And then I've been to. I guess I haven't been to Africa either. Huh. Well, I don't want to go to Africa. I'd much rather go to like Greece or Italy. Um, the only problem I have with Europe is it's always cold. I mean, I don't know if it is always cold, but I just imagine it's super cold, and I feel like I always see pictures of like people in heavy coats and stuff, and I am not a huge fan of the cold. But I think like I think the food there is like really gourmet. I think like gourmet food there would be really good. Like if you were to eat a pizza from Italy, like I mean I've had like high end pizza like at a restaurant in Utah, but I feel like in Italy it's just something totally different. Like like with goat cheese and like real authentic marinara sauce and stuff like that. Um but um yeah, and then like Greece um like if you've ever seen pictures of Greece, it's it's something else. Like I'm gonna see if I can pull it up real quick. Uh right here. Like just look at this, dude. They're the pictures on here are unreal. I don't know where this is. I mean it's in Greece, but come on, dude. Just want a picture of Greece. This picture. That is unreal. That's literally on a cliffside. Like, oh, this building did a lot of these pictures. Is this a famous building? I don't know what this is. Santorini? I don't know. Either way, I think Greece is a cool place. The only reason, I mean, I've also seen a lot of hate on Greece. Like, it's not as cool as you think it is, or like you'd be disappointed if you went there. Um, but honestly, like based off those pictures right there, I would be willing to go either way. Um, but yeah, anywhere in Europe really. Um, uh, I haven't I haven't really looked into Europe. I haven't been to Europe, but I think Europe would be cool. Um, oh, here's a good question. What's one thing someone has done for you that changed the trajectory of your life? Um, honestly, I have a lot of ways I could go with this question. Um, but my best answer is probably my parents sending me on like humanitarian trips. I've been on them. I've been on three of them so far. The first one was when I was 14, and that was when I went to Nepal. And I honestly had no clue where Nepal was. Didn't know what Nepal was. Um, but it was actually a really cool place to go. Um, when I mean, I guess I need to talk about the impact about it, but we went and saw Mount Everest, or like flew. We took a tour of it in a plane, which is pretty insane. The mountains there are unreal. But the people there had a rough. I mean, like we took like a 3 hour bus ride into like some remote, like super remote village, and we helped them paint their school. And I think it was mostly yellow, but they didn't have like they just used like the surplus of like what the inner city had. So they had like like they tried to make it all yellow, but it was like different shades of yellow. So like if you'd run out of one bucket of paint of yellow, like it was like a darker yellow, then you'd have to go and get another bucket of paint, and it was probably like a lighter yellow, but it was I mean they're fine with it, which is I don't think I could do that. But we also painted all their furniture and stuff like that, and like all of them there, like really, like they thought that we were like angels from heaven because, um, like they just live in this remote, like super remote village, that like not a lot of they don't see white people every day or like people with like thick dark hair like me, and so they just sat there and like touched my hair like all the time. um but that trip like really that trip really changed my life. Um and then second one was to Puerto Rico. And that one was a fun trip. It was the first time that I'd ever traveled by myself. I didn't go with anyone that I knew. And it was like right after the pandemic. I was actually supposed to go to the Philippines for this trip, but the Philippines had their borders closed down and everything like that. So my trip got transferred to Puerto Rico, and man, I met some incredible people on that trip. Um, but um, like it really, I guess it really just opened my eyes. I mean, I don't remember a lot about that trip, but it just opened my eyes to like what people are going through, and I'm like sitting here in like a nice two-story house in America, like complaining about it's snowing outside or whatever, like such first world problems. Um, and that trip, like I can't really remember what we did that trip, but um, the only thing I remember was this lady like was just like crying because like we just kind of came out of nowhere for her, and like there had been a hurricane. I don't know if it was the year before or whatever, but it just ripped everything apart. And so we helped rebuild their house, and like we rebuilt it, we painted it, whatever, and it's just crazy because those places, like, all they really have is concrete. Like it's just it's the easiest thing they can get their hands on, and so like a lot of what is built there is made of just straight concrete. Like nothing with like um structural integrity, like here we have like we put like rebar and stuff inside of it to like strengthen it, whatever. They just straight up pour concrete walls. So and then the third one was South America. It was in the southern part of Paraguay. Not sure on that, but it was in Asuncion, which I don't know where that is in Paraguay, but that was my favorite trip of the three. I just met a lot of, I mean, I met a lot of good people, and so we were the first group there, or second group. We were the second group there, and our plan was to get the foundation completed of this school building, and um like get maybe like a foot of the brick wall set up. But we actually managed to set up maybe like 6 feet of the brick wall. So we got way ahead. And the last work day that we had on their site, they just kind of said like, you guys have done like you guys have knocked it out of the park here. And they brought like four smokers and just had this giant barbecue. It was unreal, and it was also nice because like that day, like, I mean, around the work site you see like a lot of the locals and what they're doing, and um you kind of can talk to them a little bit, but it's never like a real conversation. But the last day when we have this barbecue, like you get to talk to everyone, and I'm pretty sure like I don't know what kind of government they have there, but I think it was like equivalent to our mayors. so he's kind of important, and he was just telling everyone like how grateful he was for this and like how we just crushed it there. And so I mean, yeah, that really changed my trajectory on life. And when I'm older, I want to take my kids on those trips. And I mean, I also just want to go on more of those trips because one, you get to explore a whole new country, but um, two, you really get to experience like helping other people out, and it's amazing. Um, Moving on. Next question is, tell us about your family. Um, Mom, dad, older brother. Older brother is currently on a mission right now in Arkansas for the LS Church. He's got about 6 months left there. Mom volunteers at a refugee goat farm, which don't ask me how she got started on that, but she loves it, and I'm glad she does it. Um, she does it for some Somalian culture thing. They use the goats for meat, for halal, and whatnot. So they just raise goats, and then once they're old and fat, they just kill them and use them for halal. Um, my dad, I look up to my dad a lot because he's just been so successful throughout his life. He used to be a sales rep for he used to sell knees and hips, like the implants for them, and um, it quite honestly like drained him, but it showed me like hard work pays off pretty much. But recently he just started a new job with like some biomedical company that they sell like this placenta derived whatnot that promotes wound healing like a ton. And so like um I guess like so most people have gotten their tonsils out, and the recovery for that is around a week or two, which is kind of a long time. But with this product, it essentially like you put it on the wound site or whatever, and it pretty much tells your brain like, hey, send like heal right here, like this area needs healed. And so that takes it down to like 2 days, 2 or 3 days, something like that. I don't know. Um, yeah, I look up to him a lot. And then I have a dog named Sunny. She will be 9 in July. And she's a pretty lazy dog right now, but I love her to death. Um, Next we got a pretty basic color. Or basic question. It's favorite color and why. And to that I'd say uh probably blue because I think it's the rarest or second rarest color to be found in nature, something like that. But I also like pink. Honestly, everyone should like pink, to be honest with you. I don't know why you wouldn't. I own a pink suit. Um, Pretty fire. Another basic one, summer or winter. Summer because I can get tanned, and I mean, who doesn't love the sun? I also love to go out boating. My family goes or used to go boating a ton. We sold our boat last year, sadly, but hopefully we'll get another one. I will have one when I'm older. Mark my words on that. Um, what has been the event to change your mindset to work hard? So to me, this question, like it wasn't really an event, but it was more of like a realization of where I'm at in life, I guess. But I don't know what we were doing or where we were going or something, but I walked out to the garage and I just kind of looked in there, and in front of me, so we had the stairs going down. In front of me was my dad's car. It was a white Tesla. It was a Model 3, which um again, electric cars, different subject, different day. I love that car. And then at that time I was driving a like a souped up, all black Jeep Willie. It looked mean as hell, and like it was just sick to drive. The only problem was the gas mileage sucked on it. It was horrible. The only really good thing about it was the looks and the sound system. It had a great sound system. And then my mom was driving a black Ford Raptor at the time, and that has been her favorite truck. We don't have it anymore. But also my favorite truck. That truck was so fun to drive. Just spin it out, like drive 80 on a dirt road, whatever. And then outside was parked our boat, which is a Super 550 SE, and like that really just set in for me. Like, this is what I want when I'm older, and I know it's not gonna be easy. It's not gonna be. It might probably not be fun to get there, but um, hard work does pay off, and my dad has put so much time and effort into his job that I can't even explain to you how grateful I am that he did that for me and the rest of my family. Um, like, my mom and dad's work ethic is just like off the charts, and I think that's what really drives me every day to um, make it to the level um, that they got me to, and I want my kids to live this same life, or if not better. And for me, like, the ways I get there, is like I just look for like things or ways that I can expand my skill set, and um like um going to like starting college at such a early age, like even if I don't ever use this certificate for a job, like I think it shows people that, like, hey, this kid's willing to put in the work and take it to the next level at such a young age or whatever. And I feel like most people at oh, I didn't realize this was still sharing. I feel like most people at the age of 18 do not have an associate's degree, um which, like, this is really special to me. Um but with that said, um it's takeover time. Um ah man, I've been waiting to do that. Anyways, um this is my basketball segment of my podcast, where we just talk about what's going on in basketball, and I mean, I could sit here and talk about basketball all day if I wanted to. Really, I tune in a lot to the NBA. I tune in a lot to NCAA, especially this past year. Um, One of my best friends is a collegiate basketball player, and I watch every single one of his games. He just transferred actually to the University of Utah. I can't wait. I'm buying season tickets as soon as they're available. But we might get into WNBA. I'm not sure about that yet. I'm not. I mean, I haven't watched a lot of it. I don't know much about it. But so we are currently in the midst of the NBA playoffs. It's relatively the start of the second round, so that's probably we're gonna focus the topic of takeover time today. But first, I want to go over um, Caitlin Clark real quick. Um, she had like I don't know how the WNBA season versus the NBA season line up, but they just started they just had their first preseason game the other night, the Indiana Fever, and her first game, um, she managed to score, let's see, 21 points in 28 minutes. Um, she's got it bad. Here, let me pull up the uh, the game. This is from the NBA. So this is our first shot of the game. She just drills like a side fadeaway three. Um, Gosh dang it, dude. Freaking heads, man. But she also got 3 rebounds, pulled down 3 rebounds, and 2 assists along with that. Um, but like to me, she's this is like the Curry of the WNBA. I can't say that yet because this is literally her first game. It could just be beginner's luck. Um, but like, look at that dude. Step back, fadeaway 3 point. Like, she just cooked her, dude. You just cooked her. Um, like, dude, she just dropped her, drains a three in her face. Third shot in the WNBA. But like, um, I think she has great potential to be like. I think I mean, it's so early in her career to say this, but I think she's going to the Hall of Fame for WNBA. I don't know anything about the NBA, but like, dude, she just cooks her. But she's definitely made me show some interest in the WNBA, just a little bit, just a dabble. Um, but yeah, I want to congratulate her for having a stellar debut. Um, but moving forward, let's move on to the Knicks Pacers game. This game was crazy. I think these two teams have just an insane matchup. Um, the Knicks, um, so the Knicks start out 1-0. And Jalen Brunson is like he just cooked. He cooked the Pacers yesterday. He dropped 43. He shot 14 for 26 and was 1 for 4 on 3-point shots. Um, see, like, man, he just um, dude, he just ripped him right there. But yeah, Josh Hart. I think Josh Hart had a career playoff high of 24 this game, which obviously helped. Dante DiVincenzo has been putting in the work this postseason. He got 25, I think, and so that's another 49 points, along with Jalen Brunson's 43, which is, I don't know, 92 points, for just the three of them. But if I'm being honest here, I think this is going to be a 7-game series. Um, I think I think the Pacers just had a rough first game here, and I think they just need to get on top of it. T.J. McConnell said in his post-game interview last night that the ball just didn't bounce their way, and they just got to adjust and fix some things, which I totally agree with. I think they played great. I think there's definitely some controversial calls at the end there, which, you know, refs, am I right? But um, when he said that, that pretty much just tells me they're not worried too much about, losing game one. They'll just move on to game two. Um, they'll, I think they can win a game. I think they can win game two. Um, they're a good away team. They win a lot of away games. I mean, um, I don't know, but I also think Tyrese Haliburton needs to get back into shape real quick. Um, I think he's been having back spasms for a couple weeks now, and I think that's really just killed him. He was held to 8 points last night, which, I guess he's not a scorer to begin with, but I feel like 8 points is just not a lot for him. And I think if this continues, I think it'll be a bumpy road for the Pacers, and I think it's a 7-game series if they have Tyrese Haliburton playing. But if it isn't clear already, I want the Pacers to win this one. I usually root for the underdog. But I'd honestly be fine if the Knicks won. I think, when was the last time the Pacers went to the playoffs? I don't even know. But I mean, I like Brunson's style of play. He's a great player. Um, he's like super driven, but I don't know. And then, um, yeah, so 53-46 at half. Um, let's see. I mean, it was a close game the entire time. Um, but like seriously, I think the last 3 minutes of this game, um, that's really what it came down to, was the last 3 minutes of this game. Um, like I think it might have been right here, or no, I think it was earlier, but there's a foul call that was ran up against Miles Turner for a screen or something, and I mean, I think that's what made them lose, to be honest. But um, I I'm going Pacers in 7 on this one. They lost game 1, but I think they can pull it out and come out on top. Um, Next, my goodness, was this a game last night? I don't think I've ever seen better defense played in my life by the freaking Timberwolves. Um, Anthony Edwards and Cat both put up 27 points. They were tied for leading scorers for their team. Um, but I think Anthony Edwards, his leadership has severely impacted the way that the Timberwolves play, and I mean, like that was defense. That was the greatest defense I've seen in a playoff game, and that was without Rudy Gobert. Rudy Gobert was absent from this game because um, his wife is going in labor with a child, so he missed that, which I don't blame him for. But the fact that they were able to play this good of defense without Rudy Gobert is like just absolutely shocking to me. And I think Karl Anthony Towns really, I mean, he stepped up this game. Um, and I mean, the Timberwolves had a lead up to 32 points at some point. Like I don't, was it half? Maybe it was at half. But this is also against the Nuggets. They had a 32-point lead against the Nuggets. Um, and I mean, Jamal Murray had a piss poor game, if I'm being honest with you. Um, but yeah, Anthony Edwards is playing incredible ball right now. This is the fourth that game was the fourth time of their 6 matchups this season, where the Timberwolves kept the Nuggets below 100 points, and this was actually the Nuggets' lowest scoring game of the entire season, which is like that's not acceptable in the playoffs. Like, if I think Stephen A. Smith said this yesterday after the game. He said, "If this, where's that tweet? Let me pull up Twitter real quick. Oh, it's not Twitter, it's X. Um, Anyways, Stephen A. Smith went on to go about like this. This is pretty much a shit show for um the Nuggets, and like, yeah, I think he said this at halftime. So if they're gonna win this game, um, we're looking at a potential sweep, which I think that's just gonna happen here, is a sweep. Nuggets might win a game, but I think it's a sweep. Um, and then he went on to say, uh, that like the Timberwolves are a huge contender here, and I mean, the defense that was played last night is a championship defense. They Jokic had an alright game with 16 points and 16 boards, but the Nuggets' shooting percentage was 35%. 35% versus the Timberwolves' 50%, which that explains the scoreboard. Not gonna lie. Jamal Murray put up 8 points, shooting 3 for 18, and 0 for 4 beyond the arc. And the Timberwolves are locked in this postseason. They are ready to put a ring on their finger. Nas Reed needs a ring. It's a well-deserved ring. I'm not kidding when I say that. I don't think anyone could stand up to Nas Reed and the Wolves. But I mean, obviously Nas Reed is like what's driving this team to do so well. But so far, I think this was a good podcast. Please let me know if you enjoyed it. Solid 40-minute episode. Sorry, this is probably a boring episode to start with, but I figured just get my background out of the way and a little bit about me. I hope to get some guest people on here and just kind of rant about basketball or politics, whatever. Today was a good episode, solid 40-minute episode, and I'm glad to have started this. Playing, I'll get some thoughts and ideas together and see where we can take it. But I think that's about it. That I say thank you for tuning in to Takeover Talks today. I'm Tommy Prince, and we will see you in the next episode. Peace.